Well, hello there, and welcome back to War Thunder. I'm Corny Swiss, and today we're driving around a couple tanks. The SU-152, of course, and at the very end, a T-34-85. But after that, we're going to have a little bit of World of Tanks, a little mix-up. But before I get started, I want to say sorry for this late upload and yesterday's non-upload. It was just one of those days where you get caught up doing other stuff, and I just never got around to making a video. So, sorry for that, but it's going to happen every once in a while. What's happening right here is I'm moving up on the A cap, but it's just me and a heavy tank who's now moving along to the very southern part of the map, and I mean, obviously the rate of fire of this thing is so low, I can't really go forward and contest the cap. Kind of have to sit back and wait for them to come to me. And they're gonna kind of oblige. I do get lucky. The Panzer G puts the shot off my tracks, and then I give him the good news. That's for sure. You probably should have moved. This T-34 1941 is gonna want a little bit of the good news as well, but have to reload first because can't fire a gun that's not loaded. But at this point, I feel okay moving forward. And there he is. He fires at the same time, but, you know, he didn't knock me out. I definitely blue blasted him. The SU-152 is really fun. I think it's a stronger derp candidate than the KV-2, even though the KV-2 I think is a better overall machine. Just because of the rate of fire. The KV-2's rate of fire is so much lower than this tank's. We have a Tiger over here, and this is what I love the SU-152 for. If you hit a Tiger, more often than not, you're going to disable it in some way. Like there, I got his transmission, his track, his cannon barrel, and something else. The dude's basically hating life right now. And I'm just going to let the gun load. I know he's probably not going anywhere, and he can't shoot back. So it's the perfect time to just get out here, line up a shot, and give them the good news. Because when you shoot a tank, it's more often than not with these explosive shells, it's a good idea to shoot the turret. Because if you shoot the turret, the explosion is going to send shrapnel through the roof of the tank, and that's really how you're going to knock tanks out. It's very difficult to penetrate with these rounds because they don't have a lot of penetration. So, but we're in kind of a rough spot here. We've captured B, the enemy have A and C. And it's kind of important for us, for me, because there's a heavy tank to my right, but I need to help, so we need to move up and take the good news to the enemy, which is exactly what we do to that 3M. He got quite a handful of the good news. But now they're capping B, so it's fairly important that I sit in this cap and try and give us some semblance of control over this part of the map. And there's some juicy targets way out there. Can't really see the Tiger. But there is going to be a traitorous KV-2. So that's not a bad target. Would definitely like to hit him. So I'm going to have to move forward a little bit just to get be able to get the sights on. Because obviously this is arcade. It's a little debatable trying to play these derp guns in like simulator or realistic. But the shell hit his tracks, blew him off, so at least he's stuck there now. So that means I can kind of just back up. I guess they're shooting at me. I think it was the AI. I don't think it was actually them shooting at me. But I'm just going to kind of wait here, wait to load, and then move forward so I can take another shot. And we have a ton of AI that just spawned on our side of the map. Not really going to pay a whole lot of attention to them. And we missed the KV-2. I have noticed that in arcade mode, the derp guns have... I think the RNG about the gun is worse. I guess maybe a nerf to their effectiveness, because I guess it would be pretty bad if these guns hit like I think they do in realistic and simulator, where if you have the right range, it's very hard to miss. Now there is a Tiger over here, and I can actually barely see him, so take the shot because you never know what you might get when you hit him. Maybe you get that lucky piece of shrapnel that goes into his crew compartment. But I don't really care about all this AI. They're not going to be an issue. But I do need to worry about this Tiger, because it's a pretty dangerous tank, and we want to maintain control of this ridge. We don't want a Tiger to have the ability to shoot at our comrades down in the valley. Now I got his horizontal drive, but he can still turn the tank and give me some issues. So I'm going to back up until I can see the front of his turret, or just the top of his tank. He comes forward just enough to give me a decent shot, and we set him on fire. So now I'm pretty sure he's immobilized. He's not enjoying life. So I'm going to run around to the side, and this is going to be where I make my first sort of real mistake. Not going to die from it. Well, eventually I will. There's the T-34. I should have immediately turned and shot the T-34 rather than going for the Tiger, who took my shot to the side, no problem. This T-34 sets me on fire, and he got my gunner, so I'm not going to be reloading, and when I do reload, it's going to take forever. So I just keep going. I start running away, just running away, trying to save my tank from this T-34, 1940, I believe. And he's just going to keep shooting me, and I'm just going to keep running. And eventually he is going to immobilize me, and I'm going to be just yelling in chat, "Save me!" and things like that. There goes my engine. And right now I'm going to start typing to my teammate over there in the IS-1 to save me. Because this T-34 is just shooting me. And should he have knocked me out? Yes. Does he? No. He's just going to sit here and pummel the back of my tank until eventually the IS-1 is going to come over. He hears my cries for help and will come over here and rescue me, which is nice. I'm not quite sure what this... based on where the shells are going, he's actually shooting through a hole in the armor that there isn't anything there. It's like next to either the commander or the gunner or something. But now the IS-1 is laying into him, and this T-34 has no chance against an IS-1. So he gets knocked out. Tell my teammate thanks, and I get repaired. But oh god, there's a Panzer IV now. So I just keep running. I'm hoping he's not going to shoot me, but he shoots me, gets my engine, and while all this is happening, the Tiger burned down. So I did kill that Tiger, but no. Bummer. I mean, it was going to happen eventually. But the game's basically over. And then he gets knocked out by the IS-1, which is nice. The game's basically over. So we have a teammate rushing to C. I was going to rush to B, but we're not going to get there in time, unfortunately. The game's going to end. We're going to lose. But I'm going to end the game with 6 kills and some nice derp shots. So, I mean, what more can you ask for? And, you know, a nice little kill on this 3M. And after the game ends, but before we leave, I'll get to shoot a T-50 and spread the good news again. But, I mean, if I hadn't shot the 3M again, I would have killed the T-50 before the game ended. But, you know, such is life. But anyway, let's move on to another replay. So here we are on Malinovka in the T-95, the Tier 9 unturreted tank destroyer for the Americans, and my favorite tank in World of Tanks. I love it a lot. It's a tank that doesn't give two shits, has too much armor, and too powerful of a gun. And it slowly rolls its way to the enemy team's demise. I've seen a lot of instances where a platoon of these things just dominates a section of the map, and it really comes down to, did your team do enough on the other flank, or did they wait for you to get there? Because sometimes they don't. That was a bad shot. I thought he might stop, but obviously he didn't, which is a little unfortunate. Usually I'm running. I haven't done the mods and things I usually use for 9.4. So Like, I would usually have Circumflex's mod pack with like XVM and the server reticle stuff and things like that, but I don't have that at the moment. And then sometimes I would run Gnomefather's Gun Sounds mod, but I haven't recently. So at some point I'll get those put in, but yeah, they're not here. They're not here for this replay. I also usually have colorblind mode on, not because I'm colorblind, just because it makes life easier for the people who are, and it doesn't mean anything to me. That was weird. I don't know why the camera all of a sudden zoomed out like that, but I didn't do it, so I don't know. But I'm coming over here kind of just to guard this section of the map. I didn't want the enemy rushing down the side, and I figured if I sit here I can maybe like spot for our team. And this T-30, I was trying to like maybe get a little bit more, so I get a little more like altitude so I could shoot his cupola, but it wasn't really happening, so I'm going to move a little bit. So I really would like to shoot him. Doesn't look like he knows I'm here. And I thought maybe there was like a little wall in front of him, but it was actually just a rock. So I probably should have gone for the commander's hatch. But I have most certainly been spotted. I don't have Sixth Sense in this tank, and as you can tell, I was spotted. There's a Super Pershing over there. I figured that the T-30 just fired. He has the same gun as me, and it's going to take slightly longer for him to reload. So I shot the Super Pershing, and now there's a Rheinmetall Borsig over there. T-30 just bounced a shot again. Now I've kind of gotten away from those guys. He is on 1,000 health. I shoot. He disappears. I did in fact hit him because he's going to pop up again with only 300 health. So we did nail him. That's for sure. T-37's being kind of annoying over there. But we're going to give this T-30 the good news again, because why not? And something I really like about World of Tanks is that it has a pretty good replay system. I noticed that in this replay there's times when like the camera's doing weird things, but overall it's a much better replay system than War Thunder. So I don't actually have to record while I'm playing. With War Thunder I do, which means I can like listen to music, I can watch I can have like another video going in the background, I can listen to that. Just makes life a little easier. I did want to try and get some shots on the Borsig, but you know, a Super Pershing will do, but I missed because I'm bad. And in the chat, our team, a lot of our heavy tanks have gone up the hill over there, which is, you know, usually I think a pretty good idea. And I think I'm actually going to miss this Borsig. You know, the shell went exactly where I wanted it to. But I'm doing my job over here, spotting, you know, trying to keeping this flank part of the flank secure so that our team can move up and cause some issues. It's like, I don't know why that happened. That was weird. Maybe it's just 9.4 replay system. Maybe they broke something. I don't know. But we're doing alright. 7-3, we're doing okay. And I thought that's where the Borsig popped up right after I shot, which is a little unfortunate. But he's tracked now. So once I can get loaded. And the bush in front of me, it was doing that in game, where it was like stuttering for some reason. I was looking through the bush and it was just stuttering, and not quite sure why that was. But now we're going to move through the field here. See a Type 59 who wants the good news. So we obviously will give the good news whenever available, because our counterparts on the enemy team need to hear the news of our Lord and Savior, Mr. T95. But this is definitely one of the choppiest replays I've ever watched. Probably thanks to the new update. Maybe they need to patch it or something like that. Well, then there's the Borsig gone, killed by a Borsig. So at this point we've kind of cleaned out their base, and now we're sort of trying to clean up the opposition in the forest over there. Firewind, after the Taurus disappeared, knocked him out. Because he was side on to me, so if I hit him it was going to do damage, and that's always nice. But now they have basically all their tanks are over there in the little forest. So I'm not doing anything by sitting on that side of the map, so I need to get over here. And our team are arguing that the two heavy tanks still on the hill should have come down. And maybe they should have, but I mean, they did all die in the forest. So they probably should have waited for us to flank around, or wait for me to start moving through the forest where I can use my armor to help me spot people. Because that's what a T95 is good for. It is a decent spotting machine, and that guy's actually out of visual range, but because he was backing up, but we still hit him, did a chunk of damage to him. There's an IS-6 who I hit but don't penetrate, which is always annoying. Felt like that should have penetrated, but he has spaced armor there, so the spaced armor probably helped him out a bunch. It would be nice if this T-59 wasn't sitting just behind the hill, but gonna basically ignore him now because he's dead. And now we've got a pretty good pincer movement here into the forest, and it kind of sucks. I know they changed the map a while ago. That there's like a dip down over there, so I can't just shoot in there. And the Stewarding Mill is actually out of ammo. That's unfortunate. But now we're just kind of waiting. I'm kind of slow, but I guess realistically I should have been moving forward to try and, I guess, scout. I'm looking to see if I can see this E75, but I can't. Can see the FCM, so we knock him out, give him the good news. And this is usually what I try and do in the Doom Turtle, is get to a position where I can just sit still, put my heavy armor to the front, and just blast whoever shows up. But I like to be a little closer because the gun isn't that accurate. It can be trolled sometimes. But now it's just this E75. Holy Sudoku from our ally there. Goes over the top. Gets knocked out. But we've got this game pretty much on lock. He's coming up. Come up a little bit more, you bastard. And they're saying, we were all thinking. I was thinking, oh god, this E75 is gonna carry. He's gonna win the game. But no, he's not. He's gonna get the good news, just like the rest of his team. But it was a fun game. I think I scored like almost 4K damage, like 2K spotting. It was good. It was a fun game. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Sorry for no upload yesterday and the late upload today. I'll be better about it in the future. But thanks for watching. I've been CornySwiss, and I'll see you next time.